So shout out to the Shake Squad. 90 Gang stand up. It's your boy Shake, and it's time to kick those actual factuals to you about NBA 2K19 and possibly missing features. But as we get started with this topic, I want to give a big shout out to Chris Sa 2016, one of the guys representing the PC community for NBA 2K. Just take a quick look at some of these images, man. Is this the Slender Man? Take a look at these guys' arms, man. This is what's happening in the PC environment. This is also a message to 2K. Please do something about this PC community, man. These guys are begging for somebody to acknowledge them. They're raising their hand. They feel like they've been ignored. So please, 2K, reach out to that PC environment the best you can. Show some love to those guys. They love playing our game. They love modding our game the right way. But let's get rid of the Slender Man. This is getting out of control. So back on topic, I spoke about this earlier this year, how there's a lot of times where 2K will remove a feature. In most cases, a feature that no one asked them to remove. If anything, we would ask them to repair it or build up from it. You know, just continue to add more to that feature and make it better. The problem is when they remove these features, they tend to bring them back and wrap them in a brand new package and call it something new. The reason why this is a problem is because we don't ever get a new feature that has actually been built upon over the years and has reached its full potential. So let me just give you guys a few examples and let me know if you guys can relate in the comment section. For those of you guys that remember playing 2K in old gen, from 2K10 to 2K13, spin dunks were in the game. This is actually a real life basketball move when you can spin off your defender, attack the basket, and dunk the ball. But for the last 5 years, that move has been completely removed from the game. Now, if you remember back then, it was cheese because it was fully animation based. There was no skill behind it. You double tap a button and you do a spin move and hopefully you get a lucky animation. The problem was because of this animation, it couldn't be blocked, it couldn't be stopped. But I just don't understand why it took 5 years for 2K to evolve beyond that. Recently, Mike Wang tweeted that now you can do a spin move that chains into a dunk. You can also do a Euro that chains into a dunk. You can do a hop step that chains into a dunk. All this sounds like it requires stick skills, and it sounds like you would have to play smart defense in order to guard up against it. Why did it take so long to have that back? That's a move you guys see every year from guys like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, most of your good dribblers / dunkers. Some of you guys don't go back this far, but some of you veterans remember for 2K12, we didn't even have online gameplay. 2K10 and 2K11 had online competitive multiplayer gameplay with the blacktop and in crew mode. But 2K12, online multiplayer was completely removed. The reason I mention this is because we've gotten so used to 2K taking an entire feature out of a game for an entire year and then bringing it back the next year like it's brand new. That one has to be mentioned because we don't want an entire park feature or an entire Pro-Am or Rec Center to be completely removed from the game like that. 2K14 had 5v5 casual pickup games at the park. In the current state of 2K, we're all complaining about the walk-on because you're constantly playing against AIs or some a-hole who calls all the timeouts and then quits when his team is losing. 5v5 pickup games are what you see in the gym or at the park in real life. And they're faster, and you still get that same 5v5 kind of camaraderie that you would get with a walk-on game. I wouldn't want 2K to remove the walk-on, but I would at least want them to fix it. But why did they remove the 5v5 park? 2K14 and 2K15 had some amazing dribble moves. I'm not talking about the cheese where you have centers doing point guard moves, but I am talking about the moves in general. They had a lot of standing spin moves that you could do, that you could chain into another spin move or into a crossover that you just can't do in the modern 2Ks. One of which was an Allen Iverson spin move where you actually turn your back to the defender, you dribble behind your back in the face of the defender, he might reach but then you spin around him. You go back to 2K14 and 15, you see me doing these moves all the time. Why would they remove those? They were legit basketball dribble moves and it required more stick skills. In 2K18 right now, stand still and whip the right stick in a half circle. You're gonna see your man stand still and do the most ridiculous spin move you've ever seen in your life, and it's completely useless. After playing NBA 2K19, the snatchback is not there, at least not the way it used to be. What's the point of removing the snatchback dribble? That's a real life dribble move. I can show you guys dozens of clips of the best crossovers and ankle breakers of the 2017-18 season, and you're gonna see most of them are snatchbacks. 2K14 to 2K17 had the snatchback dribble perfectly fine. 2K18 is the only one where it launched the defender about 7 feet away and it gave you an open jumper. Why remove it? Why not just repair it? Leave it in the game the way it was for 2K14 to 2K17. It was right for 3 years in a row. You messed up for 1 year. Why completely remove it? 2K14 to 2K17 attribute system. For as long as we've been next gen, it's been really cool to be able to set your attributes for your player based on how you feel and how you want to build your archetype. It gave us more freedom and it allowed us a lot more separation from other people that are making the same sort of builds. 2K18, they went with an attribute system that forced you to build your archetype based on how they wanted you to level your player up. 2K15 to 2K17 parks. When Park was first introduced for NBA 2K14, it's understandable that we only had one park. It's the first time we've ever seen this feature. But 2K15 to 2K17, we had multiple parks, multiple environments to enjoy ourselves. And it was fun because it was entertaining to go to somebody else's park and take on other ballers in different areas. And it gave us something else to look at. Who was at the round table in the board meeting that decided that we would have one park in 2K18 and it would be gray? People want to switch up their environment because it creates a new atmosphere and it's something else to look forward to rather than the same dry, boring locations. We've learned this from modern day shooters, fighters, you name it, any kind of game that has competitive multiplayer, you're gonna have multiple environments for people to compete in. House rules, Ruffles, Mountain Dew, and Ante Up, that doesn't count. Those come periodically and it doesn't work into the day-to-day flow. What happened to 2K15 JRC? I for one like the JRC environment, but I didn't like the Got Next system. In fact, I will never like the Got Next system. I hated waiting for 4 quarters for a game and then watching those guys dashboard after the game. And there's been too many times that you get a win on any Got Next system and you're waiting for somebody else to come play you, but they won't because of your overall. Sometimes they will, but then they'll dashboard and break the Got Next, so now you have to get off. Other times you're just waiting there to get a game started and there's guys way on the other side of the park on the Got Next for a game that's not even over yet, and you could be playing them. I don't mind the Got Next as long as we have an option to match play right away after matches if we choose to. 2K16 and 2K17 had park rep, which means you had daily challenges in the mode that you played the most, the park. As you can tell, this talk is mostly about online competitive multiplayer, so if you're a guy that plays strictly offline, I understand this video might not be for you, but I think you get my point regardless. One of the things that I liked about Call of Duty and even Fortnite is the fact that we had daily challenges, something to look forward to actually playing the game for. But 2K18, it was all pertaining to your overall, so there wasn't anything aside from that to actually play the game for. So basically, once you reach the highest overall, there's not a whole lot of reasons to continue playing. 2K19 is bringing back the 2K16, 2K17 shot meter. Why was that removed in the first place? It should never be removed. It should just be an option. And 2K17 Park After Dark got me hyped. I was actually excited to play that mode. Famous rap artists and DJs in the park spinning their favorite hits. It was like a club environment, but the sad part was that it barely worked. So if it barely worked, to remove it means you never found a solution. And I get it, the answer to some of these problems are probably lower on the priority list in a lot of ways, and sometimes solutions for those problems aren't discovered for a year or two down the road. I can understand that. But some features, as I mentioned earlier, were removed for 5 years, 3 years. That's entirely too long, especially if you're gonna bring it back a year or two later and wrap it up in a brand new package. Yesterday, we got a glimpse at My Team mode. We saw the My Team trailer, and we got a chance to see that 3v3 domination is back. I don't play My Team much, but I think it first arrived in 2K16 and 17, and it disappeared for 2K18, and My Team was pretty much dead last year. Once again, that's another feature that shouldn't have been removed in the first place. If anything, it should have been built upon or repaired, and so this way it reaches its max potential. I can only imagine that we're gonna all get excited about returning features for 2K19, you know, things like a rotating character when you're putting your tattoos on, the ability to preview your hairstyle before you actually pay for the haircut, or what about the ability to change your clothes where you stand at the park without having to return back to your My Court, then go into your closet and basically go through 2 or 3 loading screens. Me personally, I would love it if they would just bring back custom gear at the blacktop, or at least let the NBA players wear their NBA jerseys. Not this ringers versus ballers crap. In years past, it was so cool to see my player up close in his street gear in instant replay. And it led to some epic thumbnails and even some epic videos on YouTube. Removing features is never the way to go, especially without consulting the community first. So with that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Am I just delirious? Am I making stuff up? Or are you also aware of the missing features that seem to resurface and be repackaged and sold to us as something new? I'm looking forward to 2K19. Some features like more parks would be a much appreciated old feature returning, so please bring that back. As always, smack that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you're new to my channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for some more footage.